Welcome to the EUREKAMP tutorial on how to make some paper claws. One of the first questions you might have is, why might you want to make some paper claws? Well, paper claws are a lot of fun. Once you make more than one, you can have a whole mitt full of claws. They're pretty durable and they look reasonably formidable. Kids have a lot of fun with them, and they make costumes and things like that. Another thing that you can do with the paper claws is that once they're made, you can actually take 8 of them, enough for 2 hands worth, and create a frisbee or a flying disc with them that actually works really, really well. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make paper claw out of a EUREKAMP brochure. You can use any piece of paper that you like. We're going to use the EUREKAMP brochure because it has different colors on the front and the back, and it's going to be easier for you to follow along. So first thing you're going to do, take your brochure or just a regular piece of paper, and you're going to lay it out in front of you. You're going to take the top left corner and you're going to take this edge and you're going to fold it so that it's touching the right edge. Just like this. I'm going to bring it down. We're going to make sure that it lines up and it's nice and straight. Should meet here at about a 90-degree angle. We're going to crease that. So, there's our first fold. Second fold, we're going to take the tip and we're going to fold it from here and we're going to put it down here in the bottom right corner. Make sure it lines up just before we crease it. There we go. So, looks a little bit like a house. Take this. We're going to then take this left side and we're going to fold this crease to meet the crease that we just made when we folded to make the house shape. So we're going to fold it and we're going to make a kind of square. There's our square. We're then going to take the square and we're going to fold 2 tips to make a triangle. So we're folding along the seam here that's created by the 2 folds. Tip to tip. Make sure it lines up nicely before we crease it, and then we'll just throw the crease in there. Now comes the hardest fold of the whole process. So you're going to notice that on one edge, one of these top edges of the triangle, we actually have 2 seams, and the other edge, it's all open. What we're going to do is we're going to point the triangle down towards us so that the seam is pointed off to the left. We're then going to take this, and we're going to take this seam, and we're going to fold it up to what would be the middle of the triangle if we were to fold this tip to this tip. So it's going to look like this. So that's what we want to do. Looks a little bit like a boat. Almost done. We're then going to roll the sail around the boat itself. And we see we have what looks almost like an entirely completed paper claw. One more thing to do, and that's to take this little flippy floppy edge here. We can create a pocket right here, and we're going to take that edge and we're just going to stuff it inside the pocket. Now, if you were going to wear this as a paper claw, you could just stick your finger right in here for the pocket, but then we have this weird triangle piece hanging out the back. What we want to do is we want to stick our finger inside this triangle piece right here. Now, depending on the paper, if you are using the brochure, it's going to be a little stiff. So you're going to have to work your finger in there, and you're going to crease it up a little bit, but that's okay because we're making a paper claw. Then, once you're done, there's your paper claw. If you've already made some other paper claws, you can have a mitt full of paper claws. Now, if you're not into paper claws, but you are into frisbees or flying discs, well, what's the next step? We'll set aside these ones. We'll use these white paper claws that I've made before. If you're going to make the frisbee or the flying disc, For symmetry, for evenness, you probably want to use all the same kind of paper. Or, if you're interested, you can alternate them. So you're going to need 8 claws to make the Frisbee. What you're going to do is you're going to make 8 claws, and then you're going to take the tip of the claw on one, and you're going to insert it into where your finger would have gone if you were wearing the claw on the other. What we're going to do is we're going to continue that process. We're going to make a big octagon. Make sure that they're snug the whole way around. They should slide in fairly neatly. You can see here I just raided my recycle bin, grabbed some scrap paper. That's a great source for all sorts of crafts and projects. Almost done. See, it's going to be a little tight here and snug at the end. That's important. There's my disc. So this would be a pretty sweet Frisbee. Now there's one last thing that you need to do, and we're not going to show you how to do it here, but I will tell you what you need to do, and it's pretty simple. If you want, you can go and throw this Frisbee right now, but what's going to happen when you throw it is it's going to tear itself apart, and all these little claws, even if you've made it well, by the time it hits the wall or a friend catches it, or even if it just hits the ground, it's probably going to fall apart. So the very last thing that you need to do, we strongly recommend you take a little bit of tape, it can be whatever kind of tape that you want, and just tape each intersection where one claw joins the next. And with each intersection taped, then the Frisbee will stay together. It'll work out really well. So that's how you make paper claw from a EUREKAMP brochure or any other piece of scrap paper that you might have hanging around, and how you can take your claw and how you can turn it into a very nice flying disc. Thanks very much. Look forward to seeing you at EUREKAMP.